reacting to old Kendrick tweets. Let's see what I was talking about in the year 2010. This is from April 12th, 2010. Now playing the Kendrick Lamar EP. So this is before Kendrick had anything out. All he had was the Kendrick Lamar EP and of course those super old mixtapes that he released as K-Dot. But we don't count those. It was a different alias. He reinvented himself on the Kendrick Lamar EP. Go watch my Kendrick Lamar documentary, part 1, to learn more about that story. June 5th, 2010, I'm talking to someone named Knuckles. I said, download that Kendrick Lamar EP, Google it. So I'm putting them on. I was putting people on to Kendrick in June 2010, spreading the good word, you know, like a missionary. I said the Cool Kids is the best one though. I think we were talking about mixtapes. Yeah, they said, thanks so much. Do you have any more recommendations? So they were basically asking me for music recommendations. Again, I was just that music guy back then, like I am today. Maybe more so back then. I just was up on all the new artists. I was like, nah, what you need to do is listen to this guy named Kendrick. The Cool Kids also had a mixtape. I think it was called Tackle Box, if I remember correctly. June 4th, 2010, I'm talking to a dude named Ronnie from 88. This is actually the guy who put me on to Kendrick Lamar. I don't know if he's on Twitter anymore, on X anymore. But we were talking about Kendrick's music, you know what I mean? To talk about some of his verses, it had to be from the Kendrick Lamar EP, or maybe a feature, because that's all that was out at that point. I said, yeah, Kendrick bit Tupac on the first 2 bars. It was a decent verse, but his newer stuff is definitely better. So actually, we may be referring to an older Kendrick Lamar song, because I said Kendrick's newer stuff is better, mentioning the EP, referencing EP. So this might be something from the K-Dot era. Here I am right here again, spreading that good word, June 7th, 2010. Tweeting a guy named Sir Fresh a lot. I said Nipsey Hussle, I said J-Rock, I said Pac Div, Fashawn, and Kendrick. So he's probably saying something like, yo, the West Coast, they ain't got no new artists, the West Coast is weak. Because every person that I named right here is from the West Coast. Nipsey, J-Rock, Pac Div, Fashawn, and Kendrick. I said, do your research, homie. I'm guessing you don't listen to a lot of rap. So again, this, you know, he's spreading that good word about K-Dot like a missionary. At this point, Nipsey Hussle and J-Rock were bigger than Kendrick. Pac Div was bigger than Kendrick at this point. How many of y'all remember Pac Div? Church League champions, Mania. Everybody thought Pac Div was next. So again, just spreading that good word, putting the folks on. May 30th, 2010, I said now playing the Kendrick Lamar LP. Really the EP, but a little typo there. July 19th, 2010, I said Nipsey is the hardest dude out west right now. RIP Nipsey Hussle. I said with all due respect to Pac Div though, all due respect to Kendrick Lamar, Fashawn, and Crooked Eye. But Nipsey is the best one. He's the hardest one out the west right now. This is July 2010. And yeah, at this point, Nipsey Hussle was way more popular than Kendrick Lamar. More people just knew who he was. More people were listening to his music. RIP Nipsey, man. Shout out to Fashawn too. That Boy Meets World project with Exile was premium rap. July 30th, 2010. I said, these are the good new rappers from the West. A little bit of repetition. Nipsey, Pac Div, J-Rock, Fashawn, Kendrick Lamar, and You and I. So a lot of people don't remember You and I either. You and I was, Love Supreme and all that. You and I was very, very, very good. And Thursday came from You and I. So again, we just spreading that good word. It's June 2010. And I think Tyler and Odd Future, they were bubbling at this point, but I'll say more so later 2010 is when I started getting into Odd Future, Tyler the Creator, Earl Sweatshirt and all that. And this is July 31st, 2010. I'm quoting Kendrick. You killed it. I stole a Bible. Is that a sin? This is off the Kendrick Lamar EP. At this point, I'm tweeting to people who don't really know who Kendrick is. So what I'm trying to do is share some good bars that I think are good. So people are like, oh yeah, that was dope. That was a dope bar. Who is that? And then I could be like, oh, boom, you don't know him? Here's the link. Here's the download link. Put that on your iPod, because it was iPods back then. It wasn't Spotify, it was iPods. So yeah, those is my early Kendrick Lamar tweets, man. I was one of the early ambassadors. Like if y'all could read my high school yearbook, you'll see that people were like, yo, thanks for putting me onto all the good music. Thanks for, putting me onto the Weeknd, to the Kendrick, to the da-da-da-da. Like I was just that person in high school. But you know what's odd? I find myself being attacked more nowadays by Kendrick fans than any other fan base, than Drake fans or anything like that. Obviously, I was super early and super big on Kendrick. But nowadays I find I'm more attacked by the newer Kendrick fans, the ones that came post Drake beef, which is odd, right? And these are guys, you know, a lot of the guys, and even like the YouTubers, these are guys, a lot of them, they were not even in our community before the Kendrick and Drake beef. Think about how many people you watch on YouTube, how many were actually here creating hip hop content with us before the Kendrick and Drake beef. Like we never seen these people before until like recently, like the last year or so. So yeah, that people be trying to act like I'm not grandfather K-Bot. Like I'm an elder in the Kendrick Lamar community. I'm literally an elder. I'm young, but I'm an elder to y'all. Like I go way back, man. So anyway, when did y'all get on Kendrick Lamar? What year or what album? I think which album is probably the best way to gauge it. My first one was Kendrick Lamar EP. I think a lot of people hopped on at Section 80. And I think a lot of people hopped on like Good Kid, Mad City too. And believe it or not, a lot of people didn't really fully get on Kendrick until 2017 with that Damn album, you know, because that was his big commercial album before GNX. So a lot of people may have heard of Kendrick around, you know, before 2017, but they didn't really get into his music until 2017. And I feel like a huge chunk of the online community did not really get into Kendrick until a couple months ago with the Drake beef and the whole GNX and all that Super Bowl halftime, which is fine. I mean, you're no less of a person or a fan because you got on later. Just respect your elders. No, just make sure you go back and listen. Educate yourself. Go back and listen to his older works. Some of his best songs are on the Overly Dedicated album. Kendrick Lamar EP is still very good. Section 80 is required listening. Doesn't matter when you got onto Kendrick. Getting onto Kendrick earlier doesn't make you cooler. Doesn't mean anything really. What matters most is that you have heard his previous works and you have context for his current music. So anyway, that's all I got for today. What project y'all get on Kendrick with? Let me know in the comments. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.